welcome to another video. You guys, I know this week I said I was trying to get back into more longer form videos, like at least 20 minutes. But I think I picked like the absolute worst week to try to do that, just because I didn't really have time this weekend to pre-record any of my videos. And then also my back started to hurt really bad, and so I'm laying in bed recording this voiceover. My back hurts really bad, and so my back hurts. I can't draw anything, and I don't really want to talk for a long time. So I'm like, fuck, I really wanted to make longer videos for you guys. So this video is going to be not super long. It's going to be longer than 10 minutes, just because I feel like that's the least I could do for you guys. But just know that I am suffering. But yeah, so this is actually a very old drawing at this point. The original drawing, this is actually a redraw. So it's a redraw of a drawing that I made in 2019. So the one that you see me like tracing over is the one from 2019. I really liked this one at the time. When I made it, I thought she looked really cute. I still think she looks really cute. I mean, she kind of looks like Thing 1 and Thing 2, just because her hair is blue and she's got like a red jacket on. And obviously, Thing 1 and Thing 2 are, like, actually, like, white, like, stark white, like, pale as fucking snow white, but the blue and the red makes me think of Thing 1 and Thing 2, and so, every time I look at that drawing, that's what I think of. But I wanted to redraw it, because at the time, I drew the second version, which is the one you're seeing me do the process of. This one was in 2022. I just felt like I could do better. Honestly, if I'm being honest with you guys, I feel like I really like the previous one a lot more than I like the one from 2022, just because I feel like she looks way younger in the 22 version, just because her head is bigger, her eyes are bigger, like everything is bigger, like proportions on her are a lot bigger, and so when you make the eyes bigger and the head a little bit more round and stuff, it looks more childish, and so she looks more like a kid, which is like not what I was going for, especially because since she looks like a kid, it doesn't make sense why she's smoking. And I feel like the smoke is kind of like the most important part, and so I feel like if it looks like a child smoking, it's kind of be like, hey buddy, what kind of fucking agenda are you trying to push here? I don't condone smoking for anyone. I mean, if you want to smoke and you're like over 18, I don't give a shit. But I don't like smoking in general. I just think it smells bad, and the smoke gives me a headache, and also somehow it gives me a tummy ache. I don't know how you get a tummy ache from smoke, but it gives me a tummy ache. But I think that it does look cool, like aesthetically, and so I would always say, don't smoke, you guys, but if you want to draw people smoking, there's nothing wrong with that. I guess there could be a problem with that if you think like there are some people who are like, oh, when you draw or tweak things in media, it leads to like real life things, and I guess it kind of does, but I'm going to counteract that by saying I don't think you guys should smoke. Anyway, moving on. The original drawing, the girl had a half-shaved head, and I feel like, I don't know if I did the hair better this time or the last time. I don't know. I like the half-shaved head look. Honestly, I'm not really sure if I'm great at making it. I feel like I've drawn a lot of characters where their heads are like half shaved, and I'm still not sure if I'm at the point where it looks nice. I feel like actually a lot of my characters still have shaved heads, like Duke. My character Duke, his head is shaved on the side, so I don't know. I feel like it's just like an aesthetic that I really sort of kind of gravitate towards. I've never shaved my head just because I feel like if I shave it, there's like this myth, I don't know if it's a myth or if it's true, that if you shave your hair, it'll grow back differently, and so I'm like, if I shave half of it, then half of my hair is going to be like one way and the other half is going to be another way, and that's going to fucking bug me so bad, and so I never would be able to shave my head. I've had my head shaved obviously as like a baby, like a child, when I had lice, which just sounds gross, but it's like, name one person who's never had lice, and if you say I've never had lice, I think you're a freaking liar, dude. Maybe, but kids are gross and dirty, so kids get lice, and so my head was shaved as a child. And so I don't know if the texture of my hair changed, but I'm an adult now, and so I don't really want to shave my head. I like my hair, honestly, and I feel like if it looked different, I'd kind of be a little bit upset about that, so I don't really want to shave my head. I mean, it would be a lot more convenient because I hate brushing my hair, but it's because my hair is like curly, and it used to be like super long, but now I just keep it short. There's like really no point in shaving it. Anyway, I think I'm getting a little bit distracted and not talking about the art enough. So if there is like one thing that I like better about this art in comparison to the old version, it is the eyes. Like I said, I don't really like that I made the eyes super kind of like giant. Her eyes are very big in comparison to the last version of her eyes, but I do like the little swirls in her eyes. I feel like that's kind of fun because it's kind of like the smoke is like giving her like a swirly eye in the sense that she's like getting high, I guess. I think that's kind of cool, And when I did this traditionally, I did color this traditionally. Maybe I'll post that in one of my shorts. I probably will eventually when I get around to it. But I did color it traditionally. And then when I did the traditional coloring, I added like these waving lines into the smoke. And I feel like the smoke looked really cool. You can't really see that here because this is just the line art and the sketch and stuff. But overall, I don't really like I said, I feel like I like the first one better. But there are some cool ideas that I continued on through the second version of this drawing. I could probably do it a third time. I don't know if I ever will, just because I don't know. I don't really like to draw people smoking. I don't know. I just feel like every time I draw someone smoking, I'm like, don't smoke. It's so bad for you. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I will eventually, but I'm not sure. So I feel like I did the hand a lot better in the second version than the first version. I'm still not great at drawing hands. You guys know this. Honestly, most of the time, I find any excuse not to draw the hands all the way. Every time I draw in my sketchbook, I'm like, I don't really need to do the hands. This is just a sketchbook drawing. And I don't really do finished pieces too often anymore. And even when I do, when they're in my sketchbook, I'm like, I don't need to do the hands. And so I'm not really sure how good I am at drawing hands currently. But I felt like this hand was an improvement anyway. I'm thinking that it's facing the right way. I'm looking at it now and I'm like, maybe is that hand facing the right way? And it's like, yeah, it is. If she's like using her, if it was her left hand, if that's her left hand, no, that's the thumb. If that's her right hand, then it is facing the right way. And I do believe that it is the right hand. I just have a problem. When I was doing portraits, I would always draw the hand like way off. Like you have to, like, when you draw something, right, and it's like gets cut off, you kind of have to draw it all the way. And so I was like, I could have made like the canvas longer to draw the arm in a way that made a little bit more sense, and then cropped it again after. But I would never think of that stuff, you guys. I could think of that stuff now, but back then I was still very I'm not really new to digital art, but like still not very great at it. I'm still not very great at it. I just use it for sketching and shit and line art so that I can print stuff, but I just struggled a lot with it, and I didn't really think of things outside of the box. But I do think that hand turned out really well, and I think that her cigarette also looks a little bit better in this version. I think now if I was going to do it again, I would probably try to incorporate some sort of glowing effect. Like I would try to put the girl a little bit more of a silhouette and just have the light coming from her cigarette, and so that way she's illuminated by like the light of her cigarette, and it'd be a little bit more cooler, a little bit more atmospheric, which is probably why I don't want to do it, because it sounds like a lot of hassle. And I'm still not great at lighting. I'm a little bit better at lighting than I was before. And you know what? I guess I have kind of done that sort of thing where someone is illuminated by their cigarette before in like a past drawing, and it didn't turn out too bad, but I don't know. You know what it was? It was actually kind of a hassle though, so I'm not sure if I would ever do that sort of thing again. But I do think I have a lot more confidence in doing that now than I ever did back then. Even just 2 years ago. You think 2 years is actually not that much time. But when it comes to like my art progress, I feel like I have changed a lot in just these 2 years. And I'm actually really sort of proud of myself for that. It's like, I've been drawing a lot more consistency since 2 years ago. That's actually when I started to do like more daily posting stuff, was around 2 years ago. Just because I was like, I should post daily. I don't think you should post daily, but I think drawing daily did help me out a little bit when it came to my art progress. I did think that helped me out with my art journey, and I think my art journey has come further even now, just because I do draw every day, but also I draw with intention a lot more now, because I am drawing more to like improve, and so that's really good. And so it's just nice to look back at this old art from 2 years ago and be like, wow, I can really do a lot better now. I'm not gonna tempt fate, because I am a little bit paranoid, and if I draw something that's worse than something I drew 2 years ago, it's gonna make me cry, and it's gonna hurt my feelings. So I'm not gonna tempt fate that way. But looking back in this, I can be smug a little bit about it, or not smug, be a little more confident about it, but without testing it. Just because, like I said, it will hurt my feelings. Anyway, we're coming up on sort of kind of the end of the video here, you guys. You can go ahead and tell me what you think about this art in the comments, and you can also tell me if you think that I should redraw it. Like I said, I don't really have any plans on redrawing it, but I honestly truly do think that I could do things a lot better. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, that ear is fucked up. And the thing is, I don't even draw ears very well, but I feel like I could draw an ear a little bit better than I did back then. Even just 2 years ago, my art has changed so much. It's like really fascinating, the way that we can look back on our art journeys and stuff. Like, if you guys are an artist and you're like, oh, my art's so ugly, and you want to feel like throwing it away, don't throw it away. I mean, you can do whatever you want, whatever you need for like your mental health, especially when it comes to like your art. But I would just say, you don't have to look at it, like just hide it somewhere. If you really hate it that much, just put it somewhere where you don't have to think about it, and then eventually you'll get to the point where you progress enough in your art where you can look back on that stuff, and yeah, you might cringe a little bit, but you can look back and be like, I really progressed in my art journey. I've actually gotten so much better than back then, and I'm glad I have this to look back on because it shows me just how far I've come, which is why I really love doing redraws, because it really just shows you how far you've gone in your art journey and how much better you are, just because you decided that you were going to, go ahead and persevere and keep going even though you got discouraged. And I think that's really inspiring. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Sorry again that the video was kind of short. I know I said it would have been longer, but my back hurts really bad. I'll go ahead and see you guys in the next one. Bye.